Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Africa, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. America, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.
Thank you so much for joining me for another amazing episode of the African Father in America podcast. My name is Simon Javan Okello. I am in Seattle, Washington, and I am excited to bring you today's show. This is the Daily African Proverbs, and we are recording it on Clubhouse, which is a drop-in social audio app, and we are also recording this live on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you to the community that is making this possible. You know, we've been gathering here for over 2 years, sharing different African proverbs and learning from these proverbs. So that's why we are also here today. So if you're just joining us, just know that we are here to make history together, and I am definitely grateful. I just want to thank Lizzie, who just joined us on Clubhouse for this session. Thank you so much, Lizzie. We are just getting set up and we're getting started. We are live on YouTube and also here on Clubhouse. I just want to add the link to the YouTube live stream before we go deeper into our conversation today. My profile, my Clubhouse profile is also connected to my Instagram profile, where I posted the proverb that we are going to discuss today on my Instagram, and I do that every day before these sessions begin. That's where I first post what the proverb is going to be for the day. I actually want to welcome you to join me on the stage. Monica and my brother Roger, join me on the stage, and also feel free to ping in people in your network, 3 to 5 people that can also join us for this conversation right now at the very beginning of the conversation. Yesterday I should have been here, but I wasn't here. I was, observing an anniversary. My mom's anniversary was yesterday. My mom passed on October 3rd in 2020. So I was just taking time to reflect on it and be with family, because she was a very, very important person in our lives. So the topic today is around a Gambian proverb, and the proverb says that however black a cow is, the milk is always white. However black a cow is, the milk is always white. I want you to think about what this proverb means to you. And I am, inviting a few friends here and there to also join us. And also I want to invite you to share the link to this conversation here on YouTube, and also share it across social media. Share it as a story on Instagram and tag me, and I will be able to engage with you. When you look at this proverb, the milk, we all know that the milk always comes out white, no matter what color the cow is, and that's just how it is. You could have a black and white cow, brown white cow, or even a purple cow, and the milk will always still stay white. And this is always amazing. It's a reality, And so many times there are things that we can't control, There are things that we can't control, and that is really the essence of our conversation today. I brought 3 nuggets of wisdom that I want to share with you all in just a moment. I have some nuggets here that I want to share. Before I do that, I just want to, add a little comment here and share the link to this room before we continue our conversation. And also, I see that we've been joined by a couple of friends on YouTube. I just want to thank you so much, for joining us and for supporting this space. Just give me a few seconds to elevate it further by sharing this link. Yeah. I see that Brother Rushi has joined us here too. I appreciate you, brother, for being here. Yeah. So we are taking a virtual journey to Gambia, and we are going to go deeper into what this proverb means to each one of us, and we are going to do that just as soon as I share these 3 nuggets of wisdom that my team and I prepared for today. And my comment here is, no matter the color of the cow, the milk stays white. Okay. Yeah, this is interesting. African proverbs always have a way of, just forcing you to think, even when you just want to, have your coffee and chill. So, and that's really, for me, I love starting my days with these African proverbs because they allow me to reflect on what is it that the original author of this proverb was thinking, when they say that however black a cow is, the milk is always white, and as I was saying earlier, the milk always comes out white, no matter what color the cow is. And also this reminded me of of motherhood, of how, no matter where in the world, mothers always play a significant role, and mothers are always like the default place where all of us go to find our solace. All of us go, we always reference our mothers, majority of us, not all of us. And I want to just relate that to the 3 nuggets that we prepared for you today, based on this proverb and inspired by this proverb. Number 1, no matter how bad someone's reputation may be, they always have the potential to do good. Many of us are quick to judge. It's easy to judge, especially in the era of social media, where nobody will actually hold you accountable, or few people are held accountable for the things they say on social media or the things they do on social media to harm other people. And a lot of the time, people who have a reputation for being horrible people are always roughed up and chastised online, especially, but nobody gives them a chance, or nobody gives them the benefit of doubt. Recently, over the last few days, there has been quite a storm online on Twitter that I have personally been following. There's the son of the Ugandan president is a general in the Ugandan army. His name is Muhoozi, General Muhoozi, and he's been sharing a lot of tweets, including a series of tweets where he was talking about how he would be able to take Nairobi with his army, in just 2 weeks. And this kind of statement currently in Africa, where Burkina Faso just went through a second coup in less than 9 months, is very dangerous. And also talking about a coup and a revolution in Kenya, where we have a very new country and a very new leader, a leader that nobody expected to be the president, and people are still healing from the fact that William Ruto is the Kenyan president. So to have someone like General Muhoozi speaking about a possible revolution in Kenya, and also with the background knowledge that Museveni, this general's father, has been in power for over 37 years, almost 40 years, and he has become so influential. In fact, people are saying that he probably has had a hand in who becomes Kenya's president for the last few decades. So, the Museveni family and the Ugandan government has a terrible reputation because of how long Museveni has been in power, And so for someone like me, I just feel that they have a bad reputation, and no matter what good they could do, I don't see any potential for good there, But for some reason, there's a big population in Uganda that continues supporting them. This general, after saying all these crazy things on Twitter, he was just promoted to a full-on general from a lieutenant general just today, So, no matter what I think of this general or anybody else thinks, the powers that may be thinks that he's probably the best. And maybe that confirms that some of the things that were being said, by him are possibly things that could happen. We might actually have a revolution in Kenya that starts in Uganda, or we might have an East African Federation where Museveni could be the president. Anything is possible these days in this world. So I just want you to remember what this first nugget says. No matter how bad someone's reputation may be, they always have the potential to do good. And I was just giving an example with the situation in Uganda. There was literally a virtual fight between Kenya and Uganda online the last few days. Now, the second nugget here is that don't be too quick to judge people. Whenever we see people struggling, especially people in positions of authority or people that we look up to, we push them further. Nobody actually listens to leaders, even in households. Even if your father is not meeting his obligations, or even if your older sister is not doing the things that are expected of her, you find that the little siblings who have a little bit of knowledge are now the ones who are running their mouth and saying, oh, you should be like this, you should be like that, but we never give people time to get to the places that they could get to. And then finally, just because someone is different, it does not mean that they are inferior. Whether the cow is blue, yellow, red, green, or brown, the milk that they produce is always going to be white, and this proverb really reminds us that we are all equal. We all have something good that can benefit a lot of people. I remember growing up in Kenya, sometime we used to be sent to the rural areas to visit with my grandmother, and we were sometime asked to go and milk the cow. And first of all, it was a very, very difficult experience, because us kids who grew up in the city, we were not trained to milk the cows. So eventually, when you learned to do it, it was always exciting to do it. But then what I noticed is that this single cow fed almost half of the village. There were people whose cows were not, having milk at the time, that would line up at my grandmother's place to have just a cup of this milk for their breakfast, And the next time we didn't have milk coming from our cow, we would go to their compound, because we knew that, in that compound, there's a cow that currently can be milked. So, this is a symbol, this proverb is a symbol of how communal we are, and how, the things that we all have bring us together. And I think it's just a great symbol of how we are interdependent, no matter how we might deny it, especially if you're living in the diaspora like myself. We have a fence around our house, and our neighbors have a fence around their house, and each person has their job, and we kind of pretend that we all depend on ourselves until something happens, until something like the recent pandemic happens, or until there's no water that everybody has. That's when you know that, I can be resourceful and I can help in this way or that way, and your neighbor also shows up and tries to help in this way or that way. But we should always remember that however black a cow is, the milk is always white. Everybody has something good to offer. So with those opening comments, I want to just thank you all for being here, with me today. I want to thank you, Rocky, Lavender, Rushi, Brother Earth, and I see Dr. Latonya is here too, and also Flamingo and Kiden. Very, very nice to have you all here. Take a moment and share the link to this conversation. Share it on Twitter and YouTube. If you're on YouTube, leave your comments there. By the way, I want to bring on Rocky just for a moment. Rocky, I would love to hear your voice. If you just tell us where you're joining us from and also what today's proverb means to you. Thank you so much.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Simon. I'm joining you all from sunny Singapore in Southeast Asia. And I'll be honest, a few hours ago when I saw this proverb, however black a cow is, the milk is always white. The first thing I thought of was my wife. And this is not me trying to say that she's a cow, but I remember 5 to 6 years ago, I was in a very bad place. I'm professionally and financially couldn't hold down a job, almost lost a house. And that's when I met my wife. And yeah, now we're married. And recently I noticed that she's put on a few pounds and there's a generous amount of gray in her hair. Okay, none of that matters because we are supposed to grow old and fat together anyway. But the other reason why this doesn't matter is because when I look at her, I don't see an aging 40-year-old woman. What I see is the same person who stood by me through probably the worst years of my life and the one who had my back when I had nothing. So yeah, her hair can turn white, but her milk is, you know what? That sounds weird. Anyway, I'm done. Thank you.
You're most welcome. I love that. I love that. And it's the truth. A lot of the time, people change. People change because of time. People change because, the people that are around them are changing. So fear makes people change. Fear makes people run. And so I just appreciate you sharing that incredible example of what this proverb means to you and what you thought when you saw it earlier. I want to welcome everyone who is joining us for the first time. This is the Daily African Proverbs. We have been, promoting African culture through African Proverbs for over 2 years now. Yesterday I was going over, since we didn't do this session yesterday, for some reason I was going over content that I had put out 2 years ago, and I realized that I was already posting these proverbs, and sharing short clips on LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook. You know how Facebook normally sends you like memory from years ago. That's what happened yesterday. So I ended up going, in a rabbit hole of just looking at what was I doing 2 years ago, and I came across some really incredible proverbs that we were discussing then. So I really, really appreciate you all for building this up from, around 2 years ago until now. I want to invite Lavender to also introduce herself, share with us where you're joining us from, and also what this proverb means to you. Thank you so much.
Hi, Simon. Hi, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to share. Um, Today's proverb is a little challenging for me, and I'll learn for today. I'll listen and learn. Thank you so much, Simon. This is Lavender. I'm speaking from Seattle, Washington. Thank you.
Wonderful, Lavender. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And thank you for your continued support as well. I want to go ahead and invite my brother Rushi to also share his perspective on today's proverb. Let us know where you are also joining us from today. Thank you.
No worries, Simon. Yes, I'm Rushi. I am calling today from Charleston, South Carolina. Yeah, this proverb is interesting. At first, when I read it, I really didn't know how to take it. I kind of took it very literally. But then I thought about a conversation I actually just had. This was actually maybe a day or two ago with a friend of mine who lives in Kenya. And I was talking to her, and she was telling me that she was about to have a glass of milk. And I said to her, oh, really? I said to her, well, what kind of milk are you drinking? And she paused and she said, regular milk. And I thought about that. I thought about, I'm not an actual milk drinker anymore. I stopped drinking milk about 10 years ago. But, inside the States, when you go to the grocery store to buy milk, you have so many options. You have whole milk, you have 2% milk, you have skim milk, and, there's like two or three other versions of milk you can have. But the only thing that you can't buy out of the store is raw milk, which is milk that's straight from the cow that hasn't been pasteurized. In the States, you have to buy pasteurized milk. And what's so interesting about that to me is when I used to drink milk, I always wanted raw milk because I never understood pasteurization. I do understand it, but if you want raw milk, you have to go to a farmer's market and you have to know the right farmer who's going to sell it to you. And that's what I used to do when I wanted raw milk, which is milk that hasn't been pasteurized. But how I think that relates to me about this proverb is I think of how we as people, we all look differently on the outside. Some of us are black, brown, yellow, white. We all have different looks, but our our interior is pretty much the same. We all have the same organs. We all are made up of the same uh, composition on the inside. But we all have a soul that ties us to each other, to ourselves, to our own identity. And that soul what makes us. But when we think when we actually put ourselves out there into the world, and we let our spirit be known to what we do and what we believe in, that's when the pasteurization can come in. That's when we have the opportunity to cleanse ourselves. And actually, that's when the cleansing happens. When if you're a person who has bad intentions inside, those things can come out. But you have to find a way to like cleanse yourself and make sure that the things that are harmful that are inside you, that you don't want them to if you don't want them to show out, you got to do the work. So that's what I think of when I think of this proverb. We all look differently on the outside, but on the inside, we're the same. But what makes us what our spirit is what makes us different, and that's what it kind of shows on the outside. So I think that's what I will leave it at, and I think that's how I interpret this beautiful proverb. Thanks.
Thank you, my brother Rushi. I love that. I love how it's true. What you're saying is true that we all look different, but we actually so much the same. That's why, we donate organs to each other. We donate blood to each other. We we are attracted to each other across racial divides. So these are also things we can't control. These are things that no matter how clever we try to be, we find ourselves in a situation where somebody that you least expected to come through for you is actually somebody that you should not even be associating with. So it's incredible what you say. Thank you so much. I want to welcome everyone who just joined us a moment ago. Thank you so much. This is the Daily African Proverbs. We are recording for the African Father in America podcast. This is a growing podcast with over 120,000 downloads at the moment. And, we are a 5-star rated podcast on Apple podcast. So if you have Apple Podcasts on your phone and you listen to podcasts over there, you should look up African Father in America, and you should subscribe there, and make sure that when we have new episodes, you listen and rate the podcast over there when you have a moment. I want to bring the microphone to Brother Earth, who is another amazing supporter of this space. How are you doing, and where are you, and what are your perspectives today?
Peace and love, family. This is Brother Earth. I'm in the North Carolina territory, and always grateful to be on the platform with the family, sharing the wisdom of the ancestors. And when you was bringing forth the three nuggets, Simon, the first nugget that you read is about no matter how cruel a person may seem on the outside, they still may have a soft spot to a degree on the inside. Whenever you was going over there, it made me think about something that's in the Moorish Holy Quran, and it says there is a little sense of justice and mercy in the vilest man of earth. By taking the heed to what you do and say, and trusting in guidance of the Holy Breath, you may inspire this sense to grow. And again, so oftentimes we get caught up on outer appearances, but what goes on the inside is very similar. And oftentimes we forget, a lot of people already made the point, we forget how similar we are on the inside. And, regardless of what a person been through, or to a degree, everybody have a soft spot within. It just needs to be nurtured in a certain way, or certain things have to happen in order for it to be awakened. And growing up, my pops used to tell me, ain't no need of being scared of nobody. He said, because everybody bleed just like you bleed. And the same way, he said, regardless of how big, how small, or whatever it is, everybody bleed the same. And the similar with the cow, the milk is the same, regardless of how the cow looks. And even though we might get caught up on the outwardly appearance, it's about what we're getting from the milk. And I'll park my plane right there. That's Brother Earth.
Thank you so much, Brother Earth, for your contribution as well. I deeply appreciate you. I want to go straight away to Dr. Latanya. How are you doing today, and where are you joining us from? And also, what are your perspectives on today's proverb from Gambia?
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much. I am joining today. I'm in Georgia today, and I love this Proverbs and things that I've heard. I resonated with Rocky, because in brother, because yes, we all bleed the same. And looking at when it comes to cows or just people, not making people cows, but there is something that we all have. We all have a common thread. No one is better than the other. We're all humans. And there's a core value that a person who is consistent, cows has a tendency to be very consistent, and they're very keen in how they do things, and intelligent creatures. And when they are, like other cows or friends with the other cows, and they're consistent, and when they hold a grudge, they hold a grudge. But when it comes to, I relate to what Rocky said, when it comes to women, we do evolve and go through various changes in life. And that's humans, period. But the thing that's going to be consistent is our character. And so no matter what, no one can take your character away. if you just maintain your consistency in who you are. Um, and so that's why I just want to add to that, because everybody already said some of the things that I thought about. But if you have good character, that's not going to change. We don't have to let anybody change it for us. And we have something to offer that is of value, that is nurturing, that can help others grow, that can help others succeed. And it's just a matter of being willing to provide it. So thank you for sharing these proverbs. It's very, very insightful. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Thank you again. I love how you speak about character and how, as long as you stay consistent, no one can change your character. Your character actually, gets stronger, and who you are, you become more confident about who you are, and living in your own skin. It's just great. Once you know who you are, you build more character. It's great what you said, Dr. Latanja. Dr. Latonya, I want to make sure you pronounce your name correctly.
Yes.
Yeah, is that correct? Latonya, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And now to, Mama Yama, I want to, just thank you for being here. It's been a while since I saw you, and I can't wait to hear your voice, when you have time over the next few days. And also Lizzie and Airbus, and I just want to welcome Miss Lachey Day. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you follow the African Father in America Club here on Clubhouse, and also nominate your friends and your community to join the African Father in America Club here on Clubhouse. That would really be appreciated. Kiden, I saw you last in Seattle. I don't know where you are right now, but I hope you're doing well. Share with us your thoughts on today's proverb, and also let us know where you are and how you're doing today. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Simon. It's good to hear everyone's voices in Lavender. I'm joining you guys from Florida, Sunshine State. um, this proverb is new to me. I've actually never heard this one, so it's actually interesting. Just listening to everyone and hearing the different interpretations. I think for me, when I think about how the world is just constantly changing through technology and everything, and obviously we're playing by different rules now, but this proverb makes me think that there are certain rules that stay the same, right? Like our human behavior, our relationships with people, nature, our rewards in life, and also consequences. So kind of just makes me think about how certain things will always be constant no matter how much the world is changing and evolving. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I love that. There are certain things that will stay constant no matter how other things change. I love that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, Kiden. I hope to see you more often. I really, really appreciate you also for supporting us with Madaraka Festival. Kiden was on stage for the 2 days of Madaraka Festival. And, one day we will talk more about it,
For sure. Thank you.
Of course. Now I want to go on and invite Stella also to share her thoughts on this proverb, and I want to also ask you to share where you're joining us from. Again, thank you for all your love and support, Stella.
Thank you, Simon. Hello, everyone. This is Stella from Kenya. And my thoughts on today's proverb is that I think it's a reminder to all of us to always stay humble, because I think life, in this journey of life, you growing up is hard. As you try to grow each and every day, you encounter a lot of things. But in the process, I think this proverb is just reminding us to stay humble, because deep inside, there's something that is making us similar in a way. For example, I would say blood. All of us must have blood to stay alive at least. Because without blood, then someone would just die. And all of us have blood. So it's important that we stay humble. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Stella. Yeah, being humble is so important, and some people joke with it, like Trump. I remember there's a time when Trump was talking of how humble he is, and recently I've been comparing the son of the Ugandan president. I was just talking about him a moment ago, but now I'm bringing him up because you just came back from Uganda, Stella, and he is also one of the people that,
Yes.
yeah, he claims he's very humble, but he's really something else. If you look at what Bobby Wine has to say about him and his father, and even there, I'm sure the internet, and there are a lot of restrictions in Uganda, right, Stella?
So many. And do you know that he has been appointed, I don't know, the full general just a few minutes ago by the dad after all that tweet that he was tweeting yesterday.
Yeah, that's why I was saying, while we all thought that everything he was saying was wrong, it was actually an accomplishment that warranted such a promotion. So we are living in a very interesting world, and actually, we should not be surprised if he becomes the next Ugandan president. Even without an election. Yeah, and for me, being here with you all is always great because we then get to throw in, some slices of what's going on in Africa, in order for those of us who are in the diaspora to really know this is what's going on right now in Africa, and this is what we can do about it. Sometimes we can just talk about it, and to be more knowledgeable, that's better than not knowing anything. So we are on to Stephen, who is going to be our last speaker on the stage today. I want to hear what, Steve, you have to say about today's proverb. I just want to give Kyle Chen a shout out. I see you in the audience there. Thank you for being here. Steve, share with us where you're joining us from today and what today's proverb from Chad means to you.
Thank you, Simon, for giving me this chance. Hello, everyone. I'm Steven, joining from Kisumu, Kenya, in our center offices in Kisumu. Today's proverb to me reminds me of a lot. And hearing this proverb, what rang on my mind first was a reggae music that goes, different colors, one people. Have I quoted it right, Simon? Correct me because that's your line. Eh?
Yeah, that's a song by Lucky Dube. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems you listen to
So
reggae more than me these days.
just carrying on uh, with the reggae from where you left it. So what that tells me is that irrespective of our color, irrespective of our race, there is one significant element in our system that makes us equal and one before our Creator, which is the blood that runs through our veins. It doesn't matter what color we are, it doesn't matter where we are coming from, it doesn't matter our class or status, but what runs in all of us is equal. If we are all cut or get injured, we will all bleed blood, which is the same color red. And it also brought another say to my mind that goes, east or west, home is best. And allow me to align this with our roots. It's also just reminding me of the importance of cherishing our roots and where we are coming from. not forgetting to look back, because that is what has made us who we are today. I've heard a lot of stories and read a lot of articles of people overseas who really struggle and spend a lot of money traveling back to Africa just to trace their roots. So it also rings a bell, the importance of our roots and the importance of cherishing and nurturing our roots and where we are coming from. That keeps me with a lot of task, bringing my children, not forgetting where they are coming from and not forgetting about their roots, knowing that that is where they are belonging to. Thank you, Simon, for having me. That was my moment.
Thank you, Steve, for those beautiful, reflections in regards to the proverb today. And I deeply appreciate you. For those who are meeting Steve, Steven, and Stella and Lavender for the first time, we work together. We are part of One Vibe Africa, and we have, programs in Kenya and also here in Seattle, Washington. So you can connect with any one of us if you want to learn more. And also, we deeply put in a lot of love to make this show possible, and also other programs that we produce. So without you all who are listening and watching, we would not be able to do this. So I want you to take a moment, look around you, find someone that you'd love to connect with, and reach out to them. One of the things that I love the most is building community, and I take a lot of pride in knowing that people met through the spaces that we create, like the Daily African Proverbs. And also, I want to thank you. If you're just joining us, we have been here for almost an hour discussing a proverb from Gambia, and we've really gained a lot of wisdom from this proverb. And I'm sure our ancestors are proud of the work that we are doing here by bringing these African proverbs and just elevating them, and discussing them, recording them, making them available as podcast episodes so that our children and their children can listen and watch these conversations in the future. So with those few remarks, we have come to the tail end of our time together today. We are going to be back here tomorrow, and our guest tomorrow, we are going to have a guest tomorrow. Wednesdays we have a guest, and also I'm always looking for guests for all the other days of the week. So if you're interested in being a guest on my podcast and being live with me on YouTube, send me a DM on Instagram. My Instagram handle is at OkeloJavan, and it's connected to this Clubhouse profile. And also, one way you can support me is to follow me on Instagram and engage with my content over there. That's one way that you can directly support me today. Without further ado, we are going to wrap this up, and I just thank you all. Take good care of yourselves, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace and love.
African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. African tujikaze, tujikaze, America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Jalvan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.